Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Jessica Blum here, joining you from the 1011 streaming studio, along with WWT's Rusty Lord, First Alert 6. We have Local 4's Travis Klanecky, as well as News 4, KTIV's Jacob Howard here, all with us here this morning. So good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's right before Thanksgiving. We're going to get our turkey on tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to the good weather before Turkey Day, too. It looks like weather's going to run pretty smoothly so far. Yeah, before. That's exactly what we're going to zero in on here this morning, just to give you an idea. We're bringing all the brains together here at the Nebraska Weather Roundtable this morning to get you coverage in eastern Nebraska, southern, southeastern Nebraska, central and western Nebraska, and northern Nebraska. That's what we're all coming together here for this morning. So I'm going to let Rusty Lord take it away with some of his graphics as he talks a little bit more details about eastern Nebraska here this morning.
All right, let's dive in here. I'll show you what I'm working on. We have a First Alert weather days in place for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for our area. As like some of the bigger snow totals probably across the state will be on the eastern side of the state, and there's even going to be a little snow Friday, but I think most of that's probably going to be on the Iowa side of the river and moving out. There'll be a rain-snow line to contend with on Saturday that'll move from north to south through the area, and I think once that changes over to snow in your area in eastern Nebraska, it will continue well into the afternoon, and a pretty good baseline of at least 2 inches of snow for much of the area. We kind of use that around here because that'll trigger a lot of the plow crews to go out through the neighborhoods in the Omaha metro, and that's probably going to get a lot of the plow crews out and about on their long holiday weekend. Out there a little earlier than they probably want to be. No snow for Sunday now. That's trended a lot drier and definitely colder. That's going to be the coldest day of the season for us, the way it looks. So let me, I just realized you guys weren't seeing my graphics, so there you go. Let's talk about what we're dealing with here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First things on Friday, we're going to see likely a large amount of the snow travel to our east, and that's going to try to fill in Iowa, so kind of a glancing blow for Nebraska over the course of the evening. And then that'll try to fill in with rain overnight and into early Saturday morning. There's that pesky rain-snow line, and that's where I think we're going to run into the issues here, where we're likely going to see that try to set up and cause some problems over the course of the day. Then we head into Saturday, and you'll notice that starts to drop a little farther south, and there you go, that change over to snow on Saturday, and now it looks like the bulk of the snow that we're going to get is going to move through Saturday morning and into the afternoon as it migrates to the east and out of here. Big time problems if you're going east into Iowa. 35-degree high in Omaha, but that's pretty early in the day. And then it's all about the cold air on the way for Sunday. So I'm going to make this graphic here, snow probability of getting more than a couple of inches. Odds are pretty good. You'll get at least 2 inches in the area. And I think even better than 50-50, you'll get 3 inches over a good portion of eastern Nebraska. It's the 4s and the 6s that may end up being more on the Iowa side. So here's my first crack at the snow map. Just made this morning. So usually this is right on the edge of when I want to put a snow forecast together. I usually like to wait till maybe later in the afternoon today or even by tomorrow morning. But given the holiday, I think 2 to 5 inches of snow in the metro, higher totals east, lesser to the west, 5 to 8 on the Iowa side. So it goes up greatly if you're heading east on I-80 anytime, maybe traveling out of the state, heading into Iowa. So that's where I think the worst of it's going to be here. And I'll kind of go back to I guess I'll kind of toss it back to you guys, and that's kind of what we're looking at on the eastern half of the state. Hopefully that all came across. I had the maps in the right place because I forgot what screen I was looking at here. But, yeah, so the bigger snows for the whole state I think are going to end up being over here on the eastern side of the state.
Yeah, some agreement there, too, especially with the Iowa side of things seeing the worst of the snow. So if you linger a little bit longer after the Friday game, I wouldn't if you don't have to. If you can get out earlier after that game ends, since it's an early game, that would probably be the better idea since it does look like Saturday is a pretty big impact day. I think Travis was agreeing with some of your numbers so far. We haven't put out numbers yet. We kind of like to wait, but I totally agree with Rusty trying to put out some numbers before the holiday to give people an idea, at least this far out. Travis, do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, and one thing that Rusty didn't really mention too much yet, but of course is going to be the other big factor. Maybe you did mention it, I missed it. The wind too. We're going to see some.
Oh yeah, great point.
which even a lighter snow of 2 inches or less, which is kind of what we're looking at farther west into the Tri-Cities, and then even less than that farther west towards North Platte, that wind is going to be blowing pretty strong. We're probably talking at least 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, maybe stronger. And that kind of wind, could really bring down that visibility when you're traveling on those, especially the east-west roads, kind of a north and northwest wind, the way it looks right now. Yeah, even a 2-inch snow, big time problems are still a potential thing. So while we're not, again, looking at a significant winter weather system like over in Iowa, even a lighter snow event could still cause some major travel headaches.
And I'm still thinking there could be winter travel problems in southeast Nebraska with the complications of having rain first, cold air moving in after that rain, and then a transition over to snow. There could be some slick spots, especially elevated areas, untreated roads, depending on when crews can get out, because we were talking about that with Rusty just a second ago. Depending on when those crews can get out and start treating the roads will complicate some things, and just when that transition from maybe rain over to snow happens will complicate some things too, and the type of snow we're seeing. But I'm going to take my graphics here full screen just to show you that we have a couple of weather alert days. We took off Sunday, even though it is going to be frigid cold by the end of the weekend. Our weather alert days right now span from Friday to Saturday, talking about that snow wintry mix potential later Friday, really into Saturday, with most of the precipitation falling on Saturday. I think first is some rain in southeast Nebraska before a transition over to snow kind of later in the morning hours, potentially on Saturday into the afternoon, with again the heaviest snow likely happening somewhere in eastern Nebraska and especially into Iowa. So as we look at the Euro model, pretty much handling this pretty well comparatively with the Euro model and the GFS and how we've been looking at this through this week. I've been kind of happy to see some agreement really coming into this event. And we do have that dagger of snow really setting up from the Dakotas into Iowa. Maybe some spotty precipitation, some spotty drizzle near Lincoln, if not to the south and east, by the afternoon as the game's wrapping up. But then you'll see we have some dry air to overcome, which will complicate some things on the southern edge of this precipitation shield. And then we'll kind of wait for that to fill in. And I think the fill-in happens across much of eastern and southeastern Nebraska in the morning by the time we overcome that air and then that dry air, and then we can saturate a little bit more. But the changeover to snow likely happening again later in the morning, the afternoon. I think model's doing a pretty good job with taking the system out of the area by Sunday. So Sunday's again trended drier, and it kind of exits to the east as we go into early Sunday. But talking about, again, looking at just snowfall potentials across the state. Again, yeah, eastern Nebraska seeing a little bit more, lighter amounts, but as Travis mentioned, wind will definitely be a factor. So even though you're not seeing a lot of snow, visibility will be an issue for travel. So we're really just talking about travel impacts to get you aware of what's going to happen, especially throughout the day on Saturday, as those winds are cranking likely around 40, maybe 45 miles an hour or so. But the heaviest snow falling, again, toward Des Moines into central Iowa from what some of these models are saying. And then I briefly wanted to touch on the Husker Game Day forecast, because this will complicate some things if you do linger in Lincoln a little bit longer. We're talking about past the game, but the game itself is going to be cold. It's going to be cloudy. We felt the wind last night pick up on the backside of this system that's now over the Great Lakes and giving them issues. It was a bone-chilling cold. We're not going to have crazy winds on Friday, but it will be breezy underneath those clouds at this time of the year. That's going to be a chilly temperature in the 30s around kickoff, the lower 30s at that. And then post-game, we could see some very light precipitation try to start coming down. But again, I think early on, we are going to be dealing with some dry air initially, guys.
I think the best word I was using for the football game, raw. Just a raw day out there in Lincoln.
Absolutely. Yeah. Travis, you want to take over with what you have been considering for central and western Nebraska?
Yeah. So, and if you want to bring up, all I have to share, because I can't share with you guys my own stuff, you have my 7-day forecast here. I did decide to go with the weather alert day for the Tri-Cities. We're going to go midnight Friday night through 6 p.m. on Saturday. It looks like, again, initially that maybe a little bit of rain, but then quickly changing over to snow sometime maybe right before sunrise. And then most of the snow will likely fall during the first half of the day on Saturday, with the Tri-City starting to clear out by the afternoon hours. We're probably in that 2-inch or less range, similar to what Rusty had. So again, not heavy snow, but Again, it's the first snow of the season for us here in the Tri-Cities area. A lot of wind could kind of complicate things, making travel still difficult. A lot of people on the roads. Some people do a lot of their shopping not on Friday, but over the weekend on Saturday. And so people will be out wanting to do that as well. It's going to be chilly. So did decide to go with the weather alert day, even if it's not the biggest snowstorm ever, just because, again, there still will be some issues here and there. Beyond that, the Monday snow is not looking very significant right now. Most models are taking it south, so we're just going with a small chance, mostly earlier in the day right now. And other than that, I don't have anything in moisturized for Saturday night or Sunday here in the Tri-Cities area. Let's go to North Platte. I did not include North Platte in the weather alert day. Right now, snowfall totals look to be under an inch. There will still be some wind, and most of that snow is probably going to fall early in the day before clearing out during the afternoon. Just a slim chance during the afternoon hours, then another small chance looking to Monday. But again, because of the much lower amounts, as you travel west across Nebraska, the amounts will get lower. And so if you have family that lives in the Rockies or in that direction, they're traveling home over the weekend. The good news is traveling west, not so bad, not like driving to the east. Rusty's been talking about with Iowa. So.
You made a good point, Travis. This is going to likely be our first winter system of the year. A lot of people probably forgot, or, we're in College Town in Lincoln. You don't know how many students have stayed that haven't dealt with snow before. So maybe some first-time drivers on the road taking more time with you. If you have to travel on Saturday, probably a good idea.
My son's getting his driver's license today, so I'm thinking this might be a good test run maybe this weekend.
For sure.
Yeah.
Find a big open parking lot.
Yeah, he's turned 16 today, so he was a Thanksgiving turkey baby.
Oh,
so.
neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wish him good luck in his
One
travels.
thing I wanted to mention though. So people often look at the amounts of snow when they determine the impacts, but you throw in the wind with those lighter amounts, like Travis was mentioning. 1 to 2 inches of snow with wind can be just as bad as 3, 4, 5 inches of snow with the wind as it's falling. And that could create whiteout conditions. It's all about as it's falling with the wind aspect thrown in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this will be a somewhat wetter snow, I think, but even then, probably still some blowing. But the temperature's just a little below freezing. It's going to be a wetter snow compared to a dry snow, but yeah, still blowing. So.
And then we have News 4's Jacob Howard to talk about northern and northeast Nebraska. Do you want me to bring up your 10-day, Jacob, and you can talk over it?
Yeah, you sure can, because we are forecasting to see that snow roll through the area. For us, we do have that band moving in on Friday towards the afternoon, so we did make that a first alert weather day. Not really impacting our counties out towards Nebraska, but once we get into Saturday, we are forecasting to see all that snow to move into the area. Right now, forecasting about 1 to maybe 2 inches of snow over into the Norfolk, Wayne, Nebraska area as you get closer towards the Nebraska and Iowa state line, I-29 corridor. That's where we start to see our snow begin to increase. And I really want to highlight on Saturday as people are traveling for Thanksgiving, I-29 is going to be really impacted by this system. I was sharing stuff on Facebook yesterday of I-29 going into Fargo that was shut down as they saw actually a blizzard yesterday. I don't think that will happen for us, but maybe, you never know. But once we get into Saturday, seeing that snow, and then Sunday, that cold weather really settles in. I know this is the first I forecasted 0 in the forecast, so very cold conditions as we get into Sunday and even into Monday as well. Honestly, right now, snow is more or less going to fall heavier, as we all been talking about, over towards the Des Moines and central parts of Iowa. Again, though, since it is Thanksgiving, we went ahead and put first weather days for the whole entire weekend, as since everyone is traveling.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you giving your perspective from Northeast Nebraska, Jacob, as well. I know we've got a lot of travel impact. This is just a busy weekend for everyone across the board, hands down. So that's why we wanted to join you guys here this morning, get out ahead of this on Thanksgiving while we still have a lot of staff, too, because I know staffing is going to change over the holiday as well. And I think we have less shows tomorrow, too, in general. So if we can get out ahead of this and let you all know, that's a good idea, too. But I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving while we're all together. I don't know if you guys have plans to travel. Rusty told us you were supposed to go to Iowa. Plans change?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Des Moines, but yeah, you saw the forecast. That's not happening. I'll pass on that. You'll probably see my smiling face
a lot of
here
people
on.
from. You can go ahead. Sorry. A lot of people from Siouxland is traveling down to Nebraska to see the gameplay. One of our producers here, directors, are like, "Hey, Jacob, what's going on?" So traveling is going to be a big issue with this system. So heads up if you are. Hopefully, you don't have to go too far for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I know I saw some. There was a good, I think it was Nebraska State Patrol, just put out a fun video. They're working with Iowa State Patrol to make sure everyone's safe. Was it star 55 if you do get stranded? It was funny, though. They took the helmets out there to the pedestrian bridge where it changes from the Nebraska to Iowa side of things, and they came together and kind of took the helmets, but they're like, we're working together. Joke's on you. Shake hands.
Nice.
So we do want you all
It's
to be
going to be
safe.
that travel back. It's that travel back for everybody.
Yes.
I mean, the farther east you go, the worse it's going to get, and the later you go, the worse it's going to get. So, I mean, if this game were going to be played in Iowa City, that would be wild with all the snow that would likely fall
Snowball.
Friday night, and if people that stayed there and tried to get up and traveled Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
Another thing I was going to mention, we're getting into that time of the year, when you get to the winter time and you get the wide ranging temperatures across Nebraska, you guys are going to be socking with the worst of the cold these next few days. There are signs of at least some warmer air to the west. Even Friday, the panhandle could be near 60. So what a difference across the state of Nebraska. I know that a lot of people aren't watching from out there, but yeah, this is kind of one of those deals where, especially now if we start talking snow on the ground, we're going to see a pretty good range in temperatures across Nebraska here the next couple of weeks here. But I'm hoping maybe next week we start to see some somewhat milder weather maybe start to build in. There are some signs maybe as we get beyond the first couple of days of December. So.
Yeah, if it's not too much snow, hopefully that melts pretty quickly once we get the sun to come out, or at least try to chip away at some of that. But I appreciate your guys' time. I know Rusty's got a midday show at 11 to tune into, and then a lot of us, Travis has a show at 11:30. He'll be talking more in detail. I'll have a show at noon. I think KTIV, Jacob, you got a show coming up?
Yeah, we go from noon to 1, so we have an update on that and
Perfect.
look at snow totals because we are forecasting a bit more snow over on the Iowa side. One model is trying to bring in over 5 inches, so we're going to talk a bit more about that coming up on News 4 at noon.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate everyone's time today. That has been your Nebraska Weather Roundtable for Thanksgiving Eve. We'll tune in next time, sometime next week.